Transportation has been an integral part of our day-to-day existence, with a lot of effort being dissipated daily to ensure that road users have hitch-free travel experiences. Yet the attitude of many of our road users leaves a lot to be desired. Welcome to Impact Nigeria, your weekly guide on how to be a patriotic and better Nigerian. I am Devin Hamation, Mom, your regular anchor on the show. Today on the program, we will be looking at another critical aspect of our national life, which has to do with safety on our roads. Over the years, critical road infrastructure have been developed across the country to ensure free movement of both people and goods from one place to the other. One constant complaint has been the habits of road users. In fact, some Nigerians have posited that if you want to know what is wrong with us as a people, just go and stay by the roadside and watch how Nigerians drive. So our central question this episode is, how good or bad are we as road users? I will be back right after the break. Indiscriminate parking on the side of the road, disobeying traffic lights, lack of knowledge or poor adherence to traffic regulations, driving against traffic, driving under the influence of psychoactive substances, as well as overspeeding are some of the early noticeable problems on our highways, with the attendant consequences being felt by both individuals and the nation as a whole. Our crew went round town to find out what Nigerians think about driving on our roads, and here are our findings.
For the drivers to be careful how they drive. Secondly, they should always check their vehicle before embarking in any journey. Then another one is that if government can help us fix the route, the bad routes that cause the accident. Most of the time, some driver want to dodge pothole, he will enter into bush or hit another person. So if we can take note of these three things, at least check your vehicle, be careful as a driver, and then government should help us fix the bad roads.
Overspeeding, and like some drivers, they don't used to obey the traffic light. Some of them are too in the hurry, as I don't know what they are hurrying to.
I've seen instances where you have constant violation of these traffic lights, right? And I'm glad that Federal Road Safety is currently doing something about that, right? And then secondly, the road network, and the quality of our roads, basically, right? These are things that causes man hours to be wasted.
Major causes of accident, we can start from overthinking. Maybe when drivers have family problems and they start thinking, they get distracted, and then it could cause accidents. And then brake failure. If their cars are not serviced, they could try to match on the brake and it won't work, the brake pad, and then they end up hitting another vehicle.
Most of it is reckless because you will see some drivers operating their phone while driving. You see some people picking calls and all that. So I would say it's recklessness.
Nigerians enact laws, but we don't follow through. We don't want to say these things, but when you're leading people look at the head before they act. So if the leaders around us, maybe at our workplace or our homes, if we make laws and they don't follow, it's more like charity begins at home.
So, welcome back. From our cities to major highways, even to remote hinterlands, accidents are often serious, with attendant loss of lives and properties. How grim is the situation nationwide? Our backgrounder provides useful insight.
Every day, millions of Nigerians get behind the wheels. Some arrive safely, but some never make it home. Drive right. Stay alive. Overspeeding, driving against traffic, beating the red light, using phones behind the wheels. These are not just bad habits, but deadly decisions. Traffic rules are not suggestions, they are laws designed to protect lives. In Nigeria, traffic laws and regulations are enforced by agencies like the Federal Road Safety Corps and state traffic authorities. However, there are some basic traffic rules every driver must follow. Stop at red lights. Obey speed limits. Wear seat belts. Do not drink and drive. Do not use your phones while driving. Respect pedestrians. These rules might be simple, but they also create powerful impact on the road. 1 second of impatience can change a life forever. When traffic rules are ignored, the consequences are real, such as injuries, loss of lives, damaged property, legal penalties, even imprisonment. The question then is arriving 5 minutes earlier what a lifetime of regret? Responsible driving saves lives. Patience prevents accidents. And obedience to the rules protects families. Remember, safe driving is not weakness. It is wisdom. Drive like your family is on the road. Yes, because someone's family is. Drive right, follow the rules, and stay alive.
Good to know you're still with us. The program is Impact Nigeria, and we are reaching you live from NTA News 24 studios here in the nation's capital, Abuja. You can also be part of the conversation on our social media handles, Impact Nigeria NTA News 24 on Facebook and Instagram. You can equally contribute on @Impact24 on X. Our phone line, which will be open shortly in the course of the program, is 080-5555-9989. Joining me to discuss this all-important topic is Corps Commander Honey Ogundayo, PhD, Corps Commander, National Traffic Radio. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you so much.
So let's just go straight to the point.
All right.
What is the mandate of FRSC in ensuring safety on our roads?
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. You know, the mandate of FRSC is very simple. Being the lead agency in traffic management and road safety administration, our mandate is very clear. Prevent crashes, enforce compliance, and save lives. Okay. That's the mandate of the FRSC.
Right. How do you get to enforce it? Is enforceability as easy as you made it sound? Because you just went straight to the point. Oh, we just do this, this, and this. Enforceability, let's talk about that.
Okay, actually, you know, in a country like Nigeria, you know, enforcement is not an easy thing. You know, anybody that is enforcing the law, you know, stands to be corrected. People don't really like that person. They'll be looking at it, this person has come again. And before you know it, lives are being lost on the road, and this is not acceptable. So enforcing the traffic laws on the road, it entails us going on the road, you know, having a patrol, stopping vehicles, asking them one question or the other. Maybe you have this inside your vehicle. You know, I can stop somebody and ask, are you licensed to drive? Because we have seen some underage drivers. It's still part of what is causing the crashes. So we can easily stop you on the road and ask, maybe you are licensed to drive. You know, it's part of the enforcement and other things that can lead to crashes. If we see it, or we see that there is an attempt to commit a traffic infraction, we can stop you on the road and also ask you some questions.
You pointed out age as a factor for reckless driving or accidents on the road. Apart from the fact that it is illegal, I know there's an age limit
Yes.
beneath which you are not supposed to be handling a vehicle. How does it, let's assume, for instance, that my 15-year-old, he looks very mature for his age. You know, there are some of them that look like that, you know, especially when he wears trad and steps out, you can't really tell. So I get him to learn how to drive and everything. Why is that wrong?
It's very wrong because driving is not for boys. It's for matured minds. You know, because at times, these days, you know, our children of nowadays, you see a 12-year-old, even 13, 15, they are looking so matured. But it's not about that. It's not about their size. It's about the age of maturity. At least anybody that wants to drive must be at least 18 years and above. That's what the law stipulates. But it's unfortunate that we have seen some people, maybe because their parents, they have money, they buy them cars, you know, underage children in the university. You know, things like that. It's not normal. And we are using this medium to also appeal to parents. Please, any child that is below 18 shouldn't be handling driving, because in case of emergencies, they don't have the maturity. They may not know what to do at that particular time. So please, any child that's above 18 should not drive for safety purposes.
Now, there are people
below 18. Sorry.
Below 18, yes. There would be people out there that would say, at this point, I'm confused. You find the police stopping us on the roads, you find the VIO people, then there's road safety. Please explain to Nigerians exactly how you are different from VIO and the police, because they all stop us on the road. And some of us think that the police are actually meant to be fighting crime, but then they stop us and they're asking for our ID and things, and you don't really know what's going on. So please try and shed more light on that. To be useful.
You know, all the people that you've just mentioned, we are all agencies of the government, and everybody is doing their own duties. I would like to restrain myself to duties of FRSC. So just like I said earlier, we are the lead agency in road management and traffic administration. So what we do basically is to make sure that crashes doesn't occur on the highways. That's our mandate, our core mandate. We remove obstructions. We make sure that everybody gets to their destination safely. So that's our own duty. But other sister agencies, they also have their own duties. They are free to also check on some other things, but we primarily for safety on the highways.
So if there's an accident and there's a vehicle obstructing the road,
yes,
it's your duty to come and make sure that that's removed from there to ensure free flow of traffic.
Yes.
Okay. So how successful have you been over time in containing the number of accidents that occur, vehicular accidents that occur on our roads? Maybe not just Abuja. If you have the statistics nationwide, that could be useful as well.
Okay. Let's take, for instance, the festive period that we just finished in FRSC Palace. We call it Ember months, all this Ember months starting from September, October, November, December. You know, at that particular period, we see that we have heightened vehicular movement. You know, people are traveling, they want to go and visit their loved ones, everybody moving here and there. So vehicles are very many on the road. And because of this, we can also record some crashes because of the vehicular movements that are very now plenty on the road. Then thereafter, what are the things that people normally do at this particular period? You know, many people, they are looking for money. Many people that are into commercial driving, they want to carry passengers, maybe a place that you're supposed to go only once, maybe just one trip. You want to go 2 times, you want to go 3 times. Then what do you expect? We see people driving recklessly, speeding, excessive speeding. In short, one of the major causes of these crashes on the road that we have seen, you know, with times is this speeding. And, you know, the FRSC is doing everything possible to talk to people, to have them have a change in behavior, attitudinal change. Because you can do everything, you know, just like I was talking about enforcement. We do enforce. And when we get to maybe you have committed an infraction, you go and pay so amount to the government coffers. But at the same time, some people, they are willing to even pay the money. They will tell you, oh, I didn't wear my seatbelt. Okay, how much is the fine? Can I pay it here? It's not about that, just paying it like that. You know, we tell people it's about attitudinal change. All these things that can lead to crashes on the road, we have to change from it. We have to change our behavioral pattern. We have to change from the things we do. Somebody is going to the airport, maybe to catch a flight. You know that your flight is supposed to be 10 o'clock. You are just leaving your house around 9:30 in the morning and you are speeding. You may not get there, but we pray it will not happen to anybody.
And also, what are some of the other causes of disobedience of traffic regulations that you've noticed over your career?
Okay, it's very heartbreaking most of the time when we get to maybe scene of these crashes. You see children, you see women, you see men, you see able-bodied, maimed for life. You see trauma, you see children, no parents again, nobody to care for them. You see husband, no wife again. You see wives, no husbands, no, all those things. They are very traumatic because anybody can say, okay, I will help you. But the person must first of all help himself and his own family before they be thinking about you. So we've seen people that are living with such disabilities, maybe if they are alive to tell the story. So that's why we are trying, we are doing everything possible. We go to churches, we go to mosque, we do advocacy, we go to anywhere, we go to marketplaces, parks, everywhere to go and talk to people, to have this attitudinal change. Because if you know what I know, and everybody is doing it, because road safety is everybody's business. We say it always, it's everybody's business. So if we are all trying to make sure that we are intentional, when you go on the road, you make up your mind, you are not going to kill somebody, and you are not going to allow somebody to kill you, we have several rules.
Yeah. You had explained that some people, when you stop them, even they're in such a hurry to pay the fine and just leave. But apart from fines, so clearly that's not really a deterrent. So apart from fines, what other, should I say, sanctions are available for traffic offenders?
Okay, at times, for example, somebody that is a drunk, maybe we use the alcoholizer on the person and we discover that the person has actually taken some substances and the person is not fit to drive. We make you to sit down. In short, some people, they will even sleep in the office. It's when they wake up, they will now say, where am I? They'll be surprised. Because if you have not stopped such people, there are crashes waiting to happen. You can imagine somebody that have taken some substances to be, alleged alcoholic substances, and the person is carrying passengers. You can just imagine what could have happened on the road. So when we stop such people, we make sure that they don't go. Or somebody that have overloaded the vehicle in such a manner that you cannot just, you yourself, you'll be so worried to say, okay, who loaded this vehicle? How did they load this vehicle like this? When we see such people, we make them to offload all those loads and go with the normal capacity of the vehicle. And also people that are carrying human beings together with animals, we also stop them. We stop them and separate all those things and make sure they do the right thing before going.
What about manpower? Do you think you have enough hands to cover the entire country? Because for people like me, I travel quite a bit. I go to the village, things like this. I find that there's always heavier presence of, should I say, officialness and things like that in places like Abuja, the major city centers, Abuja, Lagos, maybe Kano. But the farther inward you go, the less you notice signs of authority in every sphere, not just road safety. So for instance, in my village, it's not uncommon to find 4 people sitting in the front with the driver, and one person's leg is on the driver's seat and the other leg is here, and the driver is putting his hand in between the person's leg too. And then there are another 5 people sitting in the back with 7 goats and 3 chickens and all of this. Would you say you have enough hands to cover the country sufficiently?
You see, what we just described is most of the things that we see on the road, and it's used to, embarrass us even as a country, because we wonder if foreigners go and see all these type of things, what do they feel about us? And let me first of all use the opportunity to appeal to people that are indulging in that. In case of emergency, there is no way the person can maneuver. You put 2 people here, another person, before now, people used to say something that you cannot take a driver's seat. But these days, you see somebody sharing seat with the driver.
Yes.
So unfortunate, it's very abnormal. So we are appealing to people that are doing it to stop it. Now, talking about staff, we must appreciate the federal government for the staff that we have. But, we are just like Oliver Twist. We still need more. Yes.
To adequately cover the country.
Yes.
You had made mention of, going to motor parks to carry out sensitization, markets, churches, and all of these places.
Yes.
Now, what is common in motor parks is to find drivers who are not themselves. You mentioned alcohol. That's just one thing. You frequently find these people high on all manner of substances.
Yeah.
Is there any way you are trying to curb that? Is there any way you are trying to, should I say, weed out people who are clearly not themselves and yet are happy to handle a vehicle? Is there a reason? Like, do they think it gives them more energy to maybe to stay alert for longer and therefore run back and forth more? And you understand? What are you doing to help the situation?
These people that you just described now, they used to say something. They would say, let me take one for the road. They feel that after taking all those substances, their eyes will be wide open, they will see clearly. But the reverse is the case, is the opposite. Because when you've taken all these substances, it will impair your visibility. You cannot judge rightly. Maybe you see a trailer, you'll be thinking maybe it's maybe it's even a rat. So that's it. So, but reasons for taking all these things, I don't know. They can only explain it by themselves. But according to research that we've done, we've seen that, they take it most of the time. Maybe some people are having some mental issues, some family problems, some overthinking, you see, or just because they just want to do it. They feel that it's okay for them. But we go to all these motor parks to meet with the management, and we have been having, wonderful conversation with them. And most of the parks, they listen to us, and they make sure that they read all these people selling all these drinks, all these local alcoholic drinks and the rest. Most of the parks, they don't allow those people to stay. But the unfortunate thing is that even when they don't allow them to stay in the park, these people these days, they will go and buy it from anywhere and put it, at times they put it inside the bottled water. You just be thinking the person is just sipping water. They will now use handkerchief to cover the dam.
So that you don't see the color.
So that you don't see the color
different.
or whatever they are taking. But that's why we appeal to their conscience. We tell them they need to have attitudinal change. Because you can do so much without somebody making up his or her mind that I don't want to do this thing again. That thing will still continue. So we are appealing to them. We talk to them. We appeal to their conscience to say, okay, please look at it. Just imagine your loved ones are waiting for you at home. What do you see on the road when you go on the road? When you see a crash, when there is a crash on the road, people start stopping, they put their hands on their head, everybody feeling it. But the next minute, a driver will start speeding again. So, attitudinal change is what we need.
And
their patterns
addiction is not a habit that is easy to kick. So it is one thing to appeal to these people to stop. They probably don't have the willpower to do so. And I don't know how many people we can arrest before that sector crumbles completely, because it's so pervasive. But this, I think, is a fantastic medium for you to reach out even to passengers. If passengers have embarked on a journey and they've noticed that the driver is not himself, is there any advice you can give passengers about something that they can do to protect themselves? Because in almost every accident, more passengers are lost than drivers. There's only ever one driver per car.
Yes.
And in many instances, there are so many people in the vehicle. So is there any advice you want to give passengers about how to manage themselves if they observe that the person that will handle the vehicle is impaired?
Okay, thank you very much. Every year when we have this our Ember Months special operations, we used to have a team. And the theme for that of last year was passengers should speak out. And that one really benefited many people, because some people actually spoke out and they are alive today. There was a lady that, a driver put this jerrycan of fuel, like 25 liters. And the lady was insisting, we can't travel with this. And the man was like, why won't I travel with it? It's my car, is this and that. And the lady, she just went to the point where she can meet the officials of the road safety, and she told them, and that was it. Thank God, fire incident has been averted. Thank God for that lady that spoke out. And so many other people like that have not spoken out. They are not alive to tell the story. It's so unfortunate. So as a passenger inside a vehicle, if you see that the driver is driving recklessly, please stop him before he kills you. You can report to any of the FRSC personnel that you see on the road, or even the sister agencies. You can tell them, please see what I've suspected, or see what I'm suspecting, so that we can quickly stop the driver before the driver will go and kill people. Then for this year, we say, take personal responsibility for your safety, avoid distractions. Because we have also seen that most people, when they are driving, they do so many things. Some people are dancing, some people are eating, some people are with maybe some friends inside the car. They are doing so many things. They are not looking straight. Just 1 second, a split of a second that you remove your eye from the road, anything can happen. So please, we are appealing to people, take personal responsibility for your safety. If the driver is speeding, driving recklessly, please make a report. It's very important. But, most people, either they are shy or because they don't want to look like a bad person to the driver. Because, most drivers at times, some of them, not all of them, we have some very good drivers. But some, they can be abusing you, talking to you. Are you the only person inside this vehicle? This and that. Please don't listen to them. If you know that the driver is driving recklessly, we have to stop him.
Now, we're talking after the fact. You're already inside the vehicle. You're already on the road. What if at the point of, entering the vehicle, you notice that sometimes you see these things, the person's eyes are somehow, maybe the person is sluggish in their approach. What would you advise passengers to do at the point if they notice something is amiss before the trip starts?
Okay, thank you very much. You know that most of the time, some parks, when you get there, you don't even know the driver. All of you must have been seated. They will just go and call somebody. You sure somebody will first of all move the vehicle. You'll be thinking that's the driver. Later, another person will just come and just pick up the vehicle.
I'm sorry, we'll have to take a break, and then we'll come back and continue from this one, because it's a really interesting one. We're taking a break now, and we'll be back shortly.
They are bold. They are creative. They are shaping the future. From classrooms to global stages.
Welcome to today's episode of The Conversation That Matters.
Nigerian youths are making an impact like never before. We are duty-bound to promote ingenuity, courage, and patriotism. Join us on Impact Nigeria as we spotlight stories that inspire, innovations that drive changes, and voices that matter.
What is patriotism to you?
Patriotism simply refers to love of country, commitment to country, determination to face odds in defense of country, and the eagerness to speak with pride about country.
Impact Nigeria, rekindling patriotism, live every Saturday by 5 p.m. on NTA News 24. Join us.
Welcome back, and our lines are open. The number is 080-5555-9989. And we have a message from somebody who is watching, and it's from Sokoto. Muidin Bello says, I must say this is a great program for a greater Nigeria. Nigeria, good people, great nation. Thank you so much, Muidin, and we hope you're having a nice weekend. So let's continue from where you stopped. You had mentioned that it can be difficult for passengers to know this, because usually the person who's sitting at the wheel is not the one who eventually moves the vehicle. And do you know any reason why this is the case? Because from my days of using public transport, I remember this clearly.
Yeah. I don't think there's any specific reason for them just doing that, but just reasons best known to them. But what we advise passengers is that immediately you see something like that, please don't just think of the money that you have paid. Most of the times what happens is that because somebody has paid, you'll be, this money they have paid, probably you don't even have any other money. But life has no duplicates. It's better to lose that money. But meanwhile, you may not even lose your money, because you can make reports, even at the park, to their leaders at the park there to say, okay, look at this person. And I'm sure they will investigate the matter. So please, if you have seen somebody like that, maybe the person is feeling drowsy, feeling dizzy, the person is talking slowly, the eyes are red, even at times staggering, please just don't enter that vehicle. please, for Christ's sake, because don't think of the money that you have paid. The money is very important, and I'm sure you will not even lose your money. So far, it's still at that point. You will not even lose your money, but you might lose your life if care is not taken, and we don't want that one to happen. So please, in case you have seen such a thing, report even at the park right there.
And the thing is, if you've already paid, as long as you are willing to join another vehicle, they'll put you in another vehicle if it's the driver you're uncomfortable with.
Exactly.
I really wish more passengers would speak up, because in many instances, it's usually a lone voice in the car that's protesting something that's going on, and every other person sits there and sits quiet. I don't know if it's some kind of docility or what. Just as you pointed out, people trying not to be the bad guy. Is it not better to be the bad guy and still be alive? That's what I would say. Now, there's another thing you had mentioned, that when there are accidents, part of your responsibility is moving these vehicles off the road so to ensure free flow of traffic, which brings us to tankers, petrol tankers or diesel or whatever, that tip over. It's still your responsibility to go and move these vehicles. And when you get there, what do you notice? Especially the ones that were loaded, so that we know exactly in which direction I'm going.
Okay, the ones that are loaded. Immediately there's a crash, you see people running towards that place with different kinds of jerry cans, pails, whatever, to go and scoop fuel. And we've seen many unfortunate cases that we have people that are burnt beyond recognition at that scene. So we appeal to people, immediately you see such a thing, please move as fast as your leg can carry you away from that place. Allow the professionals to come and take over. People that have been trained on how to deal with such situation. Don't go there. We ask people, what do you want to do with the fuel? You want to sell it? For how much? Is it worth your life? Just like the commercial is always saying, no life is worth losing on the road, just for nothing, for frivolity's sake. So please, in case there is a crash, don't even forget that even this crash is somebody's loss. So you shouldn't be happy running down there to go and scoop fuel. It's what we have seen, and it's so heartbreaking. Even we see children, we don't know what is happening, just because of maybe you want to sell it, or you want to use it for your generator, or whatever thing you want to do with it. Please run away from such spaces.
I think it's this mentality of getting something for free. They say people like a woof.
A woof, they run
and then there are people that say a woof, they pain belle, which is factual, because the number of times we've seen this whole fuel scooping thing go badly, I would have thought by now it has been covered so much that people would be too frightened to rush forward to go and scoop fuel. But that has not turned out to be the case.
One just happened of recent, some weeks ago at Kaduna, and thank God for the intervention of the FRSC officials. Immediately it happened like this. We just got there, we got the information, we got there immediately, then we make sure that nobody comes around that place. But assuming the officials were not there, people will start coming with different things, and they don't know that any slightest of this ignition, even with your phone, there can be fire. So people should know this.
I didn't know that.
Oh, anything, anything that is metal.
I don't understand. Is it like when the phone rings or you're...
It's possible. It's possible. In short, even some people, they will go there with their bikes. It can just hit a stone. Fire will just
there could be a spark. Anything could cause a spark.
Yes. So it's so unfortunate. I don't want to describe what we see as such scenes when people are scooping for, and there's fire. You hear people start crying, shouting. It's not a good experience. So people should just do away with that, please.
It had never occurred to me that it could be these sparks. The conflagration could be caused by mundane things like this. Now that you speak about it, maybe people even going there with metal buckets.
Yes,
and then
it's one of the things.
the truck itself is metallic.
Yes.
You're rushing, maybe it strikes something, there's a spark. Because I used to wonder, why do people go there? Why do smokers go there? Because my mind used to be like, okay, somebody who smokes went there and forgot that you're not supposed to strike a match or put on a lighter or something.
Mostly it's not even smokers that are there. It's just all these small metals that we're talking about. There will just be a spark. And you know that this fuel used to travel fast.
Because it has fumes.
Yes, it will travel fast to go and meet another place. Maybe they are doing their own thing. It will just go there, then before you know it, the spark will just engulf everybody around that vicinity.
I'm really hoping that the right ears are hearing what we're talking about, and that there will be a change of mindset. It really is not worth it, because I feel as if most of the fuel you'll scoop will probably come with maybe sand or some kind of debris in it.
Exactly.
So what really is that all about? Then vehicles, the state of our vehicles. You know, sometimes I say some vehicles look like the they look like the I'm sorry, they look like the owner of the car used the needle and thread to stretch it to sew it. Some of our vehicles, especially those meant for public transport, are in such poor shape that they look like they're held together with sellotape or something. And can you just help us enlighten our viewers why letting your car be in such terrible shape could be a danger to your life?
You know, it's not funny because, you know, you see some vehicles on the road, you continue to wonder, how come, from where? Where are you coming from?
How is this vehicle even moving?
How is this vehicle moving? So we need to tell people, you know, most of the time, the excuse people give is that, okay, there's no money, there's no money. You see somebody with bad tires, you start telling them, say, there's no money, where am I going to get money to buy new tires? But if there's a crash, you'll be taken to the hospital. If you are lucky to be alive, then money will be spent. So prevention is better. Let us prevent all these things. If you know that your vehicle is no longer okay, and one thing is that people don't go to visit their mechanic. They don't service their vehicles. They just continue to manage it. Even when you are hearing maybe unusual sound from your vehicle, you need to go and check that. Not to talk of people that their vehicle, you know, is vehicle that you can just put what we call off-road. And the unfortunate thing is that they don't move. Maybe when FRC officials are on the road, they feel that, okay, at times I wonder, I say, who is deceiving who now? They move in the night when you cannot really get them, or at times when they know that, you know, the officials are not there, they move at such times. But what about your own safety? What about the safety of other road users? It's very important. When we start thinking about other people, start thinking about ourselves, start thinking about your loved ones, your children, what will happen to them?
But when you do encounter such vehicles that look like, they literally look like they're on their last legs.
Yes.
Do you impound? What do you do?
Yes, we do. We do impound such vehicles, because if we know that a vehicle can cause crash on the road, or it's not looking like it's not something that's supposed to even be on the road, we do impound such vehicles. Yes. Or if it has mechanical issue, we tell them to go and bring their mechanic to work on the vehicle. You know, at times you'll be going on the road, you see this excessive smoke emission, you know, everywhere. You are at the back of the vehicle, you don't even see the road again because of all these things. So I'm using this medium to appeal to people. Please, you know your vehicle. Just like you know your body, you know your vehicle, you know the sound, you know when it's okay, you know when it's not okay. You know, you cannot be managing vehicles because of crashes on the road, because of fatalities, because of all these terrible things that can happen to such vehicles. So please, just try. We know that things are not easy. Everybody is managing life. Just manage. If the vehicle is no longer good for use, please, you can still park it, maybe until you get money to repair it or to buy another vehicle. It's better than to just go and lose someone's life on the road.
Okay, so I have a question here from an anonymous contributor. Okay, no, he said it's Julius from Lagos. Julius from Lagos, thank you so much for this question. He says, what should passengers do to a driver that refused to listen to them? I think he's referring to when we talked about those that are impaired and they're handling the vehicle. What should passengers do? You addressed it, but maybe just a sentence.
Okay, to still say some things
maybe
further on
that part, yes.
Okay, just like I said earlier, if you are inside such a vehicle and the driver is driving recklessly, please look out for the FRC officials on the road. You know, the feasibility is very high. There is nowhere you go to, you don't see FRC officials. But if you didn't even see FRC officials, we have other sister agencies. And at worst, if you now did not see anybody, make sure you take the number of that vehicle, the plate number, take it. Or at times, if the situation is so bad, please just come down from such vehicle. Instead of you going to be part of the crash, just come down. For example, maybe the driver is maybe to be seen to be drunk or high on substance, and you want to continue to follow such driver, you will not know the end of that journey. you know. So please, you always see our officials on the road. Then we also have a toll-free number that people can call.
Would you like to share that with us?
Yes. 122.
122. Oh,
122.
that's very
It's
straightforward.
as easy as that. It's our toll-free number. You can make reports because we are, you know, this road safety is everybody's business. So if you dial 122, somebody will pick up the call, and you know, before you know it, something will be done.
Please don't abuse this service.
Yes.
It's for emergencies. It's for serious situations. The fact that you now know it doesn't mean, oh, let me just dial it and see whether anybody will actually pick. I don't think that is the logic behind that, because you will clog up the lines for people who are actually experiencing difficulties and are trying to reach the line, which is 122. Please don't call it just for the fun of it or just to find out whether now true she they talk and all of that. Please, let's not do that. So another thing we should be looking at is pedestrian bridges.
Oops.
They are not very popular. People don't like them. I know because I drive. There's a pedestrian bridge there. You see people running at full speed across the road, and it's a highway. People, what gives? How are you trying to tackle this? How are you going to get to the bottom of it?
You know,
people genuinely don't like those things.
Yes, people don't genuinely like to climb the bridges. And, you know, we've been asking them these questions. Some people feel that, before I start climbing, before I go to the other side, it's better to be late than to be delayed. You know, we've seen many people run across the road and, you know, another oncoming vehicle will just crash into them. And most of them, they don't live to tell the stories. So it's very important, no matter how far that pedestrian bridge is, please go there, go and climb it to the other side. And you know, another problem that we normally have is that some people, they've now turned those bridges to be marketplace. They put their wares on the road, blocking even the people that want to even climb the place. So it's not a place to be selling markets, please. We know that everybody is trying to make ends meet, but let us just do the right thing. The right thing is not for you to spread your wares on the pedestrian bridges and not allow people to pass across. Then you feel that you've been running across the road, please stop it today. Just stop it today, because it's very important. You know, we've gone to such places, we've seen so many people, you know, they are no longer alive to tell the story. It's a very sad one. So please, it's very important. Or somebody that is on the road putting earpiece, earpod, listening to music.
That's more dangerous than we realize.
You know, they will not even know. A vehicle will be at their back. Somebody will be calling their attention, honking, you know, they will not hear. They are so carried away. You know, or some people making calls. They are in the middle of the road making calls. They've forgotten that they are on the road. When you're on the road, you have to be sensitive to your environment. You have to be very, very careful.
In fact, I recall on a few occasions I'd call my brother and he'd be like, oh, don't worry, are you driving? It sounds like you're driving. Oh, yeah, that's fine, don't worry about it. I'm doing hands-free. I'm like, no, you're using your mind and your eyes to drive. So just call me back when you get to your destination. I think many people don't realize how dangerous it is.
What you just said is very thoughtful of you to even say that to somebody. You know, we say that driving is 100% concentration. You can't do two things at the same time. Let me say, I'm using hands-free, I'm not using... No, but your mind is there. They can even give you one news that you are not expecting at that particular time.
Exactly.
So please, if you want to drive, if you want to pick your call, park at a safe place. Any call that is not worth waiting for is not worth you picking. So park at a safe place, or when you get home, call back. But some people, they don't want to call back because they don't want to have missed calls. But it's better to have missed calls than the other ways.
The obvious. Then again, this is really frightening, but there are people who do it. I've seen people texting as they drive.
Yeah.
I've seen that too, which I can't even begin to fathom what's going through the person's mind as they're doing that. But still talking about these pedestrian bridges, I have heard stories. I've not had cause to use one, but I've heard stories of, you have mentioned people turning the space into their private shopping mall, but I've heard stories that the homeless are there, that they use the space to maybe to lounge, to sleep. You find the homeless there, you find people who are mentally impaired there, you find that sometimes you climb and then you find that people have, you know, defecated and stuff up there and all of that. these might be issues that might be, you know, it's already not something people want to use. And then when you think you're going to climb it and probably encounter somebody who is not sane or find things that you don't want to see and all of that, that's an extra impediment. Is there any suggestion you might have as to how we can keep that space exactly for what it's meant for, to encourage use?
People, yes. You know, most at times when government have created all this infrastructure, you know, it breaks our heart what people just go there to do. Just like you can see maybe street light, you see people removing it. Even some people going to the extent of breaking some bridges, removing the iron there. So like this one now, people that go and defecate on top of such places. Then, you know, this one will bring me to the story that road safety used to advise people that if you can, please avoid night journeys. Now, if it's during the day, if you want to follow that place, even if somebody that is not mentally sound is there, you know, in case anything want to happen, at least you can shout, you can run. But if it's in the night and you're just moving at that kind of a place or a space, it might be difficult really. You know, we still call on government to help us see to these things, all those people that are not meant to be there, to just look for a way to remove them from those places. It's true, I've also heard this story that you're talking about, that maybe people that are not meant to be on the bridges, they are there. Even some people, they even hide under the cover of the night to do some bad things.
Crime.
So I think, you know, some of the places, they were well littered, but some people went there to go and remove all the lights. These are also Nigerians. So we should just take care of government infrastructures. It's very important as a patriotic Nigerian.
And while, as a result of so many reasons, it's not advisable to travel late or at night, inevitably, people still do. Are there any extra safe measures you would suggest for people that are forced to travel at night? It's not ideal, but it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening.
It's not ideal, it happens. Okay, what I will just say is that you just have to be extra careful. Apart from the crash, what about the security risk also involved in traveling at night? So what we advise is that if you are traveling late, maybe you don't even intend to travel in the night, then maybe your vehicle developed fault and you are still on the road very late, please look for a safe place to sleep. It might be more expensive, it might be costlier for you, but please try as much as possible, because there are so many things to combat with. You know, the feasibility will not be there. You will not see clearly. You know, maybe there is a tree that's broken or is across the road. You will not know. Maybe there is a broken down vehicle and the person did not even have sea caution to even put there. The person will just, you know, we've seen it. Some people just leave their vehicle in the middle of the road, just like that. And you that you are coming, you don't expect a vehicle to be in the middle of the road. Sure. You know, so many things can happen. So it's better if you can avoid it. Please don't do it. But if you just have to do it due to one thing or the other, you just have to be extra careful, more than 100% careful. But it's advisable not to do it.
So, of course, we're gradually coming to the end of the show, and I would like to ask if, I think we've spoken exhaustively, but there might well be one or two things that we haven't touched on that might be on your mind that you'd care to share, especially with regard to, you know, personal safety when driving. Are there other tips you could share?
Okay, one of the things that we also see is that many people, when they are driving, they don't like using their seatbelts. They feel that, okay, maybe it's not comfortable. I don't know what they feel, or I'm just going from here to here. But seatbelt saves lives. You know, when you strap it across, then in case there is an emergency, there is a crash, you will not jump out of the vehicle. But we have seen cases of people that are not using their seatbelt, they just jump out of the vehicle. You cannot imagine, somebody will just flip from inside the car through the windscreen and shatter the windshield. So please, it's very important that they use their seatbelt. If you can get money to buy a car, please don't forget to buy your fire extinguisher. It's very important, because we have also seen people, you know, they say they are, you know, they will be looking like this and their vehicle will be burning in their presence. It's so sad. So all these are very, very important things that people need to do. And they should not forget that number 122 in case they see something, they want to say something.
Well, Commander Honey, I love your name, by the way. I've never heard that name before. It's very unique.
Thank
It's
you.
been a pleasure having you on the program.
Thank you so much.
threw so much light on things that even I didn't know, and I hope that viewers also found it useful. Thank you very much, and we're hoping that you'll join us again another time when we have cause to invite you to our studios.
Thank you so much. On behalf of the Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety, let me also thank NTA for all that you do for us. We appreciate.
Thank you so much. Well, slow and steady wins the race is a popular maxim in these climes. Thus, as we navigate different roads in the country, patience, respect for traffic regulations, and not driving under the influence of intoxicants are some of the golden rules for self-preservation. Thank you for spending time with us today on this journey of self-discovery. If today's episode sparked something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Share, subscribe, and join us every Saturday at 5 p.m. on this channel for another discussion that truly matters. Till I come your way again with another fresh episode of the program, don't forget that we did not only inherit this country from our ancestors, we equally borrowed it from the upcoming generation. Let's be responsible debtors by keeping the country alive. My name is Deva Hamatiomom. Bye for now.